You know, there is no requirement that you seek improvement. Improvement is purely optional. Many decide that things are just fine as they are. It has also been said that people would rather lie to themselves than face the truth. In the next 20 minutes or so, you are going to test that truism. Will you decide to overcome your natural human bias? Or will you choose a counterintuitive and better way? Let's see. My fish's name is Ellie. He's the smarter of the two of us. Okay, Ellie doesn't like conventional presentations. So let's see if I can present unconventionally. After all, there is a counterintuitive theme throughout. I think you will like the first guideline. In order for you to like the second, here are expectations you might reasonably have. Yes, I expect you won't change if I ask you to work harder than you already do. You work hard enough. However, if I ask you to get more done with less hard work, you may go for it. Furthermore, if you also perform better than you do now, that's another reason for you to accept the changes I'll explain. And I'm not talking about a little better. I mean a lot better. That's right. Tell them, Ellie. 10 times better. Interesting? Here's a cute video that explains a problem we all have. The movie calls it age activated. But kids do this, people of all ages. In just 2.5 minutes, it will get my point across. Let's watch. I think you'll see yourself just a little bit.
I went to the doctor yesterday. He told me I have age-activated attention deficit disorder. This is how it manifests itself. I need to wash my car. As I start towards the garage, I notice that there are some letters on the kitchen table. I separate the post into bills and junk mail. I go to put the junk mail in the bin and notice that it's full, but then I think that I may as well pay the bills first. I take my checkbook from my bag and see that there is only one check left, so I go to my desk in my study where I find a bottle of Coke, which I had been drinking. I am about to look for a checkbook when I notice that the Coke is warm, so I decide to put it in the fridge. As I enter the kitchen, I notice the flowers on the worktop need water. I put the Coke down and notice my glasses, which I've been looking for all the morning. I decide that I'd better take them back to my desk, but first I must water the flowers. I spot the TV remote on the table. I know we'll be looking for it tonight, so I decide to take it back to the living room. But first I must water the flowers. I splash some water on them, but some spills on the floor, so I put the remote down to wipe up the spill. Then I continue down the hall, trying to remember what I was planning to do. Now it's the end of the day. The car isn't washed, the bills aren't paid, there's a warm bottle of Coke on the worktop. The flowers aren't watered, there's only one check in my checkbook. I can't find the remote or my glasses, and I don't know what I did with the car keys. I tried to work out why nothing got done today, and I'm baffled because I've been busy, and now I'm really tired.
That poor woman went to extremes to make the point. Yet you know that you sometimes run in circles and are disappointed with what you've accomplished in a day, a week, a year, or maybe even over your whole career so far. We all know the word multitasking. The question is, Do we still know what single tasking is? This is single tasking. The red scrap at the first is the time it takes you to figure out what to do before you start actually doing anything. Then the blue block represents the time it takes to work on task A. Only after completing task A, fully completing it and checking your work, do you prepare for and accomplish task B, and then the same for task C. If there is something you require from somebody else that you don't have but need to finish the task, single tasking means that you would simply stop and wait until you could continue. No switching tasks allowed. Multitasking came into being with your very first job because the boss wanted more work for your pay. Heck, you can't even stand it even without a boss. You get bored. You feel like a jerk if you just sit there not doing something. We humans want to feel like we are accomplishing some meaningful purpose with our lives. So when you can't continue on B, you start work on C. You stay productive. But then it goes too far, and without your even knowing it, you swing over into bad multitasking. Interruptions abound. Remember the woman in the video? Look what happens to completion times. They get skewed way out into the future. You said a mouthful that time, Ellie. I want you to demonstrate to yourself how bad this is. For a moment, we'll ignore Ellie's remark that we all have way more than 3 open tasks at any given time. In fact, let's demonstrate the damage of bad multitasking on only 2 simultaneous tasks. Here is all you need: a watch, or even better, a stopwatch. iPhones have a stopwatch built into the clock app. And you need 2 pieces of paper. If you have 2 different colors, that's the best. If not, just take your pen or pencil and scribble over every square inch of one side of one of the pieces. Then pause this video until you're ready. Here are the rules, but don't start. Wait until I tell you to go. Let me show you what you're going to do first. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I've got 2 pieces of paper here. Plain copy paper is fine. I've got a white sheet and a green sheet. We're going to tear 5 lengthwise strips. 1 strip, 2, and now here's my 3rd tear. Now I've got to switch from white back to green. So here's my green paper. 1, 2, 3. Now I've got to switch back to white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 white strips. Once I have the 5 white strips, I can tear 1, 2. Remember, I've already made one long cut, so that's as much as I can do without switching over again to green. What you can't do is take a bunch of sheets of paper and stick them together. You can see I've got 3 strips here. You can't stick them together and tear a bunch at the same time. One tear per one piece of paper per tear. Okay, that's how you do it. If that makes sense, let's switch back to the video. Alright, you need to get your stopwatch ready and get ready to pause the video. When you finish and have noted your time, start the video again. Are you ready? Go. That was fun. A little hands-on action for you. Now let's check the quality. Count the number of pieces of confetti you made of each color paper. Pause the video again, and when you add up the quantity you have of each color, start me up again. You should have 30 of each color, no more, no less. 5 strips divided into 6 equals 30. Don't feel bad if you're off. Most people experience a quality issue when they multitask. Let's try that again. Same drill, 2 fresh sheets of paper. Pause me until you're ready again, and I'll tell you about a rules change. The rules are quite similar, except for one thing. You are no longer required to multitask. Get ready to pause me again, and go. Were you faster this way or slower? Usually people drop the time needed by about 40%. Let's check your quality again. Count the number of pieces of confetti you made of each color paper. Pause the video again, and when you add up both colors, start me back up. Welcome back. How was your quality this time? Were you more reliable? People are much more accurate when they don't multitask. Remember what I promised? Faster and better. You'll see in a minute what I mean by a quintuple nasty. These are 2 preconditions you see at the bottom of your screen. Facts of your current reality. Now what can we determine just using pure logic? Because of these 2, we are forced to switch tasks. When an emergency happens, you drop your current task and start another. You look up. The baby's about to roll off the couch. Drop everything and catch the baby, of course. The boss runs in with his hair on fire. And because we switch tasks, bad multitasking increases. As a result, quality declines, as you just proved. Here is our first nasty, a vicious cycle. When we do something wrong, we have to open a new task to fix it. Still more open tasks. Messing up slows us down. In addition to the repair job, we lose our groove, and the actual time to complete the task increases. Also, touch time goes up because of shifting between jobs, as the confetti game proved. There are different causes of increased touch time. Both bad multitasking and touch time increasing delay the time until completion. If we're working on a business project, longer lead time means delaying the payoff from the task. More time is invested, and the return that could have been earned sooner is lost forever. The longer it takes us to do something, the more likely it is that priorities will change, our second vicious cycle. When it takes longer to do things, our overall capacity to do other things is reduced. Because it takes longer to finish, we feel pressure to start sooner. Human nature again. Catch-22 number 3 is that this causes us to open even more tasks in order to start them sooner. When lead time is longer, there's a greater likelihood that other people we need to complete the task are not available to us because they are working on other tasks for much longer too. When they're too busy to work with you, vicious cycle number 4 is that you switch tasks to stay busy. And the quintuple nasty, is that when your capacity is used up, it increases the lead time to finish a task. Whew! What can you do? At first it seems there is no way out. Help me, Ellie. Of course, he always says that. We do have a choice. We can dramatically reduce the number of open tasks. The fewer open projects, the less you switch tasks, which reduces bad multitasking, and everything gets better. The only problem is, you might have to sit and wait for someone or something that you need. That's right. The correct thing to do is just wait, unless you are certain you can start and finish another task before you expect to be able to work on the first one again. That would be good multitasking. You'll need to get the whole organization on board to support it. Each level in the organization chart is responsible to see that their direct reports are not working on too many competing tasks. The right prescription, even if it feels lazy, is move to 1 to 3 open tasks. Here's an important note. Managers can no longer complain when employees are idle. Each person was hired because you needed them to get a job done. A job the company needs. Overworked employees usually produce inventory you don't need and that cost you money you didn't need to spend yet. To lower missynchronization between different people, you should keep about 20% protective capacity for each person. More work will get done across the whole company because you sub-optimized each employee's workload. That's right. Let me say it again. The company can do more money-earning work each day if each person is idle an hour and a half out of every day. Counterintuitive, huh? The fact that the solution is counterintuitive is why nobody will copy you. This creates an incredible competitive advantage that is sustainable. Try to find a product-based competitive advantage that other people won't leapfrog and copy. Good luck. Now let me show you one more video to make this point.
Do you know what the secret of life is?
No, what?
This.
Your finger?
One thing. Just one thing. You stick to that and everything else don't mean shit.
That's great, but what's the one thing?
That's what you gotta figure out.
Curly is one of the great philosophers of the 20th century. He's dead right. Power comes from focus. Focus only on one thing at a time. It may be prudent to have a couple more projects in your back pocket on which to practice good multitasking, but one is the most important. Once you start that, drive it through to completion. The same thing is true for whole companies. One project is the most important. Tell everybody which project that is so that they know when to stop one of theirs in favor of the company's highest and greatest project. Of all corporate communication, this is the most important. Here's what you get in the real world. 5 completions before one happens in your current reality. Steady wins the race. Impulsive gives the illusion of activity and far less results. This is the hardest part. It's not important that you remain active. It is important that the job gets done. You're in a hurry to get home. So therefore you take the most direct route. But you get stopped by a train. If the goal is to get home soon, it pays to wait for the train and continue on the most direct route. Human nature urges us to stop wasting our time. So we race to get around the train just to stay moving. I'm differentiating here between actually making a difference and getting the false sense that you are. If you get 5 minutes, you jump on your phone with your thumbs flying instead of focusing your thinking on something important. See what I mean about the solution being counterintuitive? Need proof? L equals lambda times W. Dr. John Little, a professor at MIT, proved this simple little gem in 1961. And see, almost nobody has realized it yet in over 50 years. Here's what it means. W is the number of opportunities you finish over time. Lambda is the time it takes to complete a task. By the way, have you ever tried to hurry a task? How does that work? Did you ever hear the hurrier I go, the behinder I get? That's the intuitive way, trying to speed the time a task takes. It's a loser's approach. L is the number of open tasks. If you have tasks A, B, C, D, E, F, and G that need doing urgently, is there anything that forces you to work on more than A, the most important one? You can and should /L. When you do, lambda collapses by an even bigger factor, which allows W to increase. Imagine you now keep L equals 6 open tasks, and that you complete one task per week. That means W equals 1. Therefore, to make the equation work, lambda must be 6 weeks. It takes 6 weeks on average to complete a task. If you cut L to 1, the quintuple nasty goes away. With no more of the catch-22s of bad multitasking, you can expect the time to complete a task to drop by twice as much as L went down. A half a week to finish a task. Better service. Is it ever? Customers love you and beat a path to your door. Simple math shows that your capacity also increases to 2 tasks per week. Now that you're so much faster, you can attract more business and still offer a much faster lead time than your competition. Here is how the 10x improvement that Ellie first mentioned happens. Let's say your company has 30 million in sales, and 2/3 of that is cost of goods sold. If operating expense is 9 million per year, you earn 1 million. Not bad. 3 1/3% of sales. If your market is big enough for you to sell twice as much, and whose isn't, then being able to deliver in 1 week or a half a week instead of 6, like the competition, means that you should attract more business. You can sell twice as much, and your employees can not only handle it because they're no longer slowed down by bad multitasking, they have 20% protective capacity. Here's your new financial statement. Twice as much sales and cost of sales with the same operating expense, plus a little. Let's throw an extra million in. There's Ellie's 10 times improvement. Damn smart fish. Now that you know Little's Law, you will find that it applies everywhere. But you don't need math to know what to do. Slash the number of open tasks. Enforce it. Be happy with somebody who has 20% protective capacity. Who knows what great ideas they will have with that time. How else do you expect them to work smarter, not harder? Thanks for your attention and for investing in yourself. Go out tomorrow. Make this happen. Slash open tasks. Focus. Kill bad multitasking. Let me know if I can help you.